welcome on the first video for this book number 3, Redefining a Testing Automation Strategy for a PO with Codecept and Worpress. The book is for sale on Amazon, and there's a lot of things inside, not only using the CodeceptJS, which is a framework testing. It has been made because this first part was made with Codeception, and then as a PO, I was wondering if the CodeceptJS was maybe better to make introduction to testing and more advanced. I have made a kind of list where I leverage on the installation I've already made for Codeception, meaning that in the very first video of Codeception, I was giving you the clue of installing MAMP, also how to install something on the local host, having the PHP-MyAdmin, using one editor. I'm using Sublime Text, but you can use a visual editor, installing the WordPress, having a custom URL for your WordPress, and this part was specifically for WordPress. So I will leverage on this installation, and I invite you to watch the video about Codeception that is also available on my account. All the code also is available, like the previous book for Codeception is available here, and we will see the very starting and very basic. So I will open here some of the commands that are here. Let me see. It's this one. It's here. Yeah, sorry, it's here. So that by default that's the README. So I will follow this instruction to install it. What we need, we would specifically, working on CodeceptJS. CodeceptJS leverage on Node, and to use Node, you need to have an installation of Node using Homebrew, because I'm on Mac, so it would be useful to have installed Node and then install Node. I already have installed it, so I won't install Homebrew, but you can Google this information. As you can see, I'm just making bigger, and you can see I have already Node and npm. And let me see CodeceptJS. So this is very simple, and you have the quick start, and we're gonna follow this instruction. But when you start the instruction on the website, you need to have npm, okay? So remember not to forget to install Node and so on. So basically what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go through this terminal in this area. For the moment it's empty, and you can see it here, and this directory, it's here also on my desktop, and is empty. And this is where I'm gonna install CodeceptJS, okay? So let's go back and install it. It may take a while because you have to you have an internet connection, and it may take a few minutes to download the whole stuff, especially the package that may require. So let me see if it's working for the moment. And then you will see Node module will appear, and then is installing all the things that is required. And at the end, it will start Chromium. It has already started, so it may take a while. Meanwhile, I'm going to present you the part, especially of this book. As you can see, there's a lot of part. The part testing CodeJS is a part 7, but you have the part before where I'm explaining what is the concept behind all this testing, why you should test, what is the definition of done, things that I've already shown in the previous book about Codeception, and especially using some thinking tool like testing pyramid, or can we make any connection with agile testing? Is there a principle for those people who are working on digital management, and especially a digital project management, and are using the agile method with Scrum, for instance. So that's a very important thing that you need if you're using. I'm just watching if the Chromium is downloading. Okay, then we will focus on this area. We will create the init, run the very first using Puppeteer, and then I would change the test given by default by Codeception, and then we will write the first test on the local WordPress, meaning that I will test if the baseline, just another WordPress site is installed, is here with this test. Okay, so you can see that it's here, and I'm going to test it very quickly. So basically, that Chromium is okay. Yeah, it's still remaining a few seconds. Okay. So, and also in this practice, I'm making details mostly the same that I've made as Codeception, because when I present Codeception to my team, they say, well, you should use something made in JavaScript, which is more a client side, which is more useful to test for a PO because it's more intuitive. And it's true that it's intuitive. It's true that you have a lot of concepts that are really well explained, and I thanks again the people from Concept because they made a great documentation. It's one of the assets of the framework. And also I've made few explanations about how to use Gherkin to I maybe have the time making video about the Gherkin usage inside Codeception. So basically we're done. We are 100%. So I'm going to clear my console. And I have installed, and I'm gonna init the stuff, okay? So here we go. So for this time, I was saying I was using Puppeteer. I will say yes to all. I mean output, use English. I would say base URL, but I will change it for my local WordPress, so it's still localhost. I won't use the browser, okay? I would say no, and then it's done. And I would say yes. Do I want to try a very first test? I would say yes, and it would create automatically a name, file name underscore test.js. You can see that everything has been created here. For instance, I can, and I'm going to clear the console, and I'm going to launch this test. But nothing will happen really, but it will work anyway. And what I'm going to do before, it's maybe to change the Codeception configuration, sorry. So you have here to change with, so I already passed it here. Yeah, I will make that. So I'm going to put here the URL of my local install, the WordPress that I want to test. You see that it's local WordPress. So this one is correct. And this one, it can be true or false. That means, do you want the test that I use Chromium or not? So we are ready to go and to launch this test that will do almost nothing, as you can see. Is doing nothing. I can even change inside this test and asking the function say that will print something in the console. Okay, let's do it. So you can see I should see redefining a testing automation strategy, etc., etc. So let's see. And you can see this test has been modified. So basically, CodeceptJS is working on my computer, and I'm able to test my web application. The things to understand is that I'm using WordPress because it's very common and very usual, but maybe you have another web application. Even me, I'm working on a back office. I'm working on a website that I made with Symfony or Laravel, but I was trying to testing, and I find this framework very useful. Okay? So let's move on and create our own test. So we retype, which is generate. And this time we're going to test. We're going to make the first test, and I'm going to call it like this, first step.js. And it will create the file. So I will see the file down here and see there's almost the same that have been generated. But I'm going to change it to more specific to my installation. So I will go there and find if there is something that looks like the test I'm looking for. For instance, this is the Gherkin of the test I want to do. I want to check if just another WordPress site exists, but it's written in JavaScript down there. So I'm cut and paste this one and do the change. So I have slight change here because my distribution is no more in this area. It's in a new area, which is this one. Okay, I'm just giving some command in comment because then it's helpful when you want to do things quickly. For instance, if I redo the things, I'm still at the good distribution. I'm in the correct directory, and I can see this is the directory I have down here. So to understand, okay? And I see my concept things, okay? So we're going to test now. So we have to change this one too, because this is another distribution of WordPress that I have locally, but what I want to test is this one, okay? So for instance, I can check, this is this one, Concept2, and not Concept only, okay? And this is this one that I'm going to test, okay? This is the front that I'm going to test, Concept2, with JS WordPress demo. And I want to see if this is really true. I want to test if the baseline is correct, okay? And normally I see just another WordPress site. So normally this, I'm just changing a few things in my command. It's like having easily the command that I will launch into the console, which is pretty easy. So basically what I'm going to run is this one. I'm going to run with the step this, and it's working. It should work. Yes, it's working. So I'm clearing my console. I will make it fail now because I'm changing the string. As you can see, just another WordPress site is correct on the website, but my test will want to see just another WordPress site test, and there it will fail. So let's see. And as you can see, it failed because it's expecting something with test, and what we have is something without test, okay? So I'm changing again to make it work. Okay, and it will work again, okay? I'm clearing, and this time, as I say, I didn't want to have Chromium use, but I would change the settings inside the Conception configuration. This is where you make the configuration of your distribution. As you see, I changed the URL. You can have yours when you have your own installation, and I will put the things to true, okay? And I will relaunch the stuff. And then Chromium will be launched, and we'll go to the website. So apparently, yeah, it's maybe wrong because I made a cut and paste. I'm still looking, I'm on the page. Yeah, this is not the correct one. As you see, I made a mistake, but it's cool. I can correct it because I should see this. I should see the theme that has been activated, which is this one. That's why I had another distribution. That's 2017 that should show. Okay, let's go again and try again. And as you can see, I see 2017. It's pretty quick, but that was the correct one. I just want to change, for instance. I'm making another, let's say 20, or let's say this one. Activate it. I refresh. And as you see, to ensure that Chromium is really launching and testing the correct site. Have you seen the site has been changing? So basically, I can test and still the same. I mean, whatever the theme you're using, as your baseline is correct, that would be the same. So we're done. So basically, we're done. We have made this little introduction about the testing. There's a lot much more that's coming up, and I will present you in a few other videos. Thank you very much. Remember, this book is available for sale, and you have a lot of video also for Codeception. And remember, my idea was I made the work for Codeception, but I wanted to make also for CodeJS, as the logic is pretty the same. So again, thanks to the people for CodeJS and Codeception, because it's very intuitive. And still, I wanted to present the testing culture and to spur the testing culture for people like me, like product owner. Okay? Thank you for your attention. See you.